Are you ready or not?
Yes.
Okay, shit.
God damn it. You better speak. Oh, my God.
Hello and welcome to the Powerfish Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Fish. And this is the worst intro ever. Screaming about. Well, listen. So,
Well, I don't want to start if you're not freaking ready.
Well, we've started now, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's too late to go back. All right.
What were you about to say? Huh?
Well, I ain't got nothing to say to you. All I was going to say to you is that you had something to say to me, and I want to hear it.
What did I have to say to you?
You told me before we started recording that you had a story that you couldn't remember and then remembered. Right. And I want to know what it is.
Yeah. Let me tell you about the story of me trying to remember this story first. So there's a story that I had in my cranium, and it was like Monday. It happened. As soon as it happened, I'm like, good story to tell on the podcast. And pretty much every day leading up to today, I said to not forget it. And came today, and I was like, what the heck was that story? I couldn't remember it for the life of me, but I remembered it now. So anyway, I'm a FedEx delivery driver, and I delivered to this house. There was a woman sitting outside, just, I think she was smoking on her phone. And
nice.
I parked the side of the road and get her box, get out. And she says, "Is that for me?" And I said, "Sure is." And I gave it to her. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but she took it. She said, "Oh, this is going to be great." And I said, "Oh, yeah?" And she said, "Yeah." So she grabbed it, started walking up her stairs into her house. She said, "This is going to be good for my son to beat on instead of his sister."
Interesting that.
And I just kind of looked at her, assumed she was joking, or took it in a maybe not joking, but took it in a playful manner, and said, "You have a great day." And I got back in and drove away. So something in that box was purchased as a way to get her son to stop beating his sister.
What do you think was in that box?
I don't know, dude. It wasn't very heavy. Maybe a stuffed animal or something. It wasn't no punching bag. Those things are heavy. And this was like, I don't know, like, it was stuffed animal size. Like, wasn't, I don't know. I don't know how old the kid was, or the daughter, sister.
It's something that you learn working with the public, that the public is on average oversharers. I don't know.
Oh my God,
it is.
dude!
I don't know what it is, man.
If you find a prompt to get someone to talk, and they'll talk, and there ain't no stopping it. Like, yeah, I agree. Sometimes they I don't know. Being homeschooled, I don't know. Sometimes, like, if I'm the one that, like, don't understand a social situation sometimes, like if I'm the outlier, or if everybody else is the ones being weird. And I have noticed that some people just, like, they're just unhinged, I guess is the word. Don't care.
Batshit crazy.
Out of their damn mind. Yeah, whatever it is. I maybe oversharing, maybe being open with everybody is just the way of life. Maybe those people are happier,
I, for one, think it's incorrect, and I don't like it. We see that a lot. You wouldn't think in the furniture industry people are just jonesing to talk about their day-to-day lives, but they are. I guess
they
you
just
would
come in just jones and do that.
I guess you would, because it's like, oh, we're gonna use this furniture to blah, blah, blah. But we get, with specifically the old come in, and they feel the need to tell you that everything that's happened in their lives We had a gentleman come in the other day, and the whole time I wasn't specifically the one that was helping him. He's not my client, he's somebody else's, but I was eavesdropping on the conversation as you do, and I remember it kind of perking my ears up, and I heard him go, "Full disclosure," to the salesperson. "Full disclosure, a couple of months ago, I filed for bankruptcy." And mind you, you might think, oh, maybe he's like trying to say, oh, I can't afford something, I can't spend a lot of money on this. No, that wasn't the context of the conversation. They were just talking about like what color he wanted, or like, you know, which style of sofa he likes. He was just like, full disclosure now, I want to be upfront as possible. I don't have any money. I filed for bankruptcy. I don't know what.
I mean,
what process
how often
in
would
his
we
brain.
see that at the phone store? Like people pulling up their phones to give it to us to fix something on their phone, and they're just like totally comfortable with us seeing their like literal tabs and tabs of porn.
Dude, I saw that so much.
It's never, and it's always it's always an older individual. Always.
I have a couple stories on this actually. For one,
I'm gonna cut you off right there.
cut me off.
Of our one dislike that we got on the old people ain't got no fricks to give video short, the one person that disliked, they're wrong. This is just another example of how that short is correct. Or
Yeah.
old people don't care. They don't care.
Old people
They'll
are
let you just look
stupid.
at their porn on their phone.
So I had an older gentleman. I was helping him pay a bill when I was working for the phone store, and I'm helping him because, you know, old people, they can't touch a screen. That they don't understand that. So I'm helping him pay this bill, and I'm like, well, what's your phone number? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, sick. Well, you know, let's get on your phone. And he's like, oh, I don't know how to do this. You do it. And then practically throws his phone at me. So I'm like, okay. So I open the phone, and sure enough, there's porn. And he looks over my shoulder to see his phone with the porn on it, and he goes, oh, "How did that get there?"
How'd that get there? I don't know how to use this thing.
Just like that. I was like, oh, that there. And he took it back. Fucking stupid. I had this one gentleman. It wasn't old, actually. He was a young man, clearly married to a woman, and he hands me his phone. And when I tell you the sea of homosexual porn that I saw on this man's phone, it was astounding. And no judgment. I'm fucking whatever you want, dude. Fuck it. But it's just and you look at this guy, not to generalize and stereotype, but he's that like rough cowboy kind of dude. You know, we live in a Midwest town,
yeah.
and he's just like, yeah, guns, my wife, my kids. Donald
The
Trump,
typical
you know,
closet.
that guy. And he's just
Typical closet dweller. Right there.
he's just got suckbrodick.com on his phone. And
Suckbrodick.com.
exactly. Real site. I own it. It's my site. Check it out.
Yeah, there was some interesting folk in that store that would always come in. Fun place.
Exactly.
That's sarcasm.
Exactly. Not a fun place. But no, we just on the topic of oversharing. I mean, yeah, we get that so much with the furniture industry, a surprising amount. And I remember when I worked for FedEx, I would get that too. And the other thing that annoyed me, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast or you've mentioned it. People that assume we know what's in the package when it's being delivered.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's astounding.
That's crazy. The amount I think it's like the majority even of people that see you delivering assume that you know what you're delivering. If we did that, then we've committed an illegal act.
Exactly. You can't open up the people's mail.
Yeah, that's a felony. You can't do that.
I had a woman one time. Hold on, I'll tell this story real quick. I had a woman one time who I was going to deliver to her house, and she left a note on her door, and it said, "FedEx, call me," and listed her number. I was like, oh, Okay.
I never respond to those.
Well,
ones.
so I was just gonna deliver it, but then it said signature required. It's like,
Ah.
oh, okay. I was like, all right, I'll call you, you jerk. So I called, and this woman answers, and I'm like, hey, this is FedEx. I'm at your home. Hello, and she says, can you just leave it there? And I said, well, I gotta get a signature from you. It's a signature required on there, and she's just like, ugh. I haven't been able to go out to my house in like 3 days to get this signature signed, and I can't do it today either. So can you just leave it there anyway? And I was like, well, no, that's not how. And she goes, I'll even tell you what's in there. You can open it. I was like, I'm not opening that. Yeah, that's what she said. She's like, you can open it. I'll tell you right now what's in there, and then you can open it and see that it's there, and then that will prompt you to be able to leave it because I proved who I am.
That's not the point of a signature.
Right. And which is what I said to her. And she's just like, no, and then she says this, and then she says this. She tells me, this stranger, oh, you can open it. That's totally fine. And then says, yeah, it's a, what'd she say? It's a ring that my partner got for me. Like an expensive, like, you know, not necessarily, probably not an engagement ring, but, you know, like something of that variety.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, they got it for me. It is expensive, but yeah, you can open it. It's fine, stranger. Cool. Do it.
You just take that ring.
Exactly.
You could have just done that.
I was taken aback by the just the trust that this random person had in me. I
think things over a couple grand or something like that are the ones that require signatures. Because it's like carpets too.
That job was wild, but yeah, people just assume that you know what's in their package, and then that I have some sort of say in that. I was delivering to this one woman, and she, I think I told you the story. So I pulled up, and I grab her package. I'm walking up to her. She's standing out on her porch because, you know, she has nothing better to do with her life. And I'm walking up there, and she goes, I think she said the same thing. Was that for me? I was like, well,
yeah, that's a common one.
It's not for anybody else. I'm walking up your fucking driveway. And then she says to me, is that my shelving unit?
Oh my God.
Did I tell you the story? And then I go, well, it's for you. I don't. That's what I know about it.
That's all I can tell you.
That's all I can tell you, that it's for you. And then I hand it to her, and full disclosure, it's a smaller package. I'll tell you what. So it's probably not a shelving unit, but I didn't think much of it. I don't give a shit. That's the house, and I gave it to her. Mm-hmm. I get back to the truck, and I hear her go, "Hello." So I look out, and then she's holding up the package. She goes, "This is not my shelving unit."
Okay.
This is too small to be a shelving unit. And I'm like, well, I don't know what it is. It's just, that's your address.
Is it you on the box and your address or not?
So what it was the right address, but it was not her. That person I had, I guess moved.
Oh yeah.
But she just was so mad. This is not my shelving unit. Lady, I don't have any control over that whatsoever.
There's one place called Steam Demons that I sometimes deliver to.
That's an awesome name.
It's a vape shop, and they ordered toilet paper, and I knew it was toilet paper because it said so on the outside of the box, and it was also clear plastic packaging, and it was like two huge packs of it. So I was walking in, looking to the side because it's too tall to look over when you're carrying it. I opened the door to Steam Demons, and as soon as I open the door and walk in and turn around to shut it, I hear this chick behind me say, "What's that?" And I shut the door and turn around and just look at her and say, "Toilet paper." And I drop it on their pool table because they have a pool table in the middle of the shop. And she said, "Oh." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Toilet paper." I said it. She said, "Oh," and I said, "At least it's not a bomb." And then I walked out.
What a response.
Yeah.
Because at least it's not a bomb, because it very easily could have been.
Yeah, yeah. There was one time, speaking of bombs in the back of FedEx trucks, there was one guy. He had a hazardous, I think it was gunpowder or something. I've handled some gunpowder shipments before, but I think he was shipping gunpowder, and this was at a time when one of the drivers that we have now was a package handler, and she was loading his truck. And she knew him. She was loading his truck. He drove out, and an exploded truck came back, and no person, because he was killed.
Oh,
He got blown up.
oh, wow. That's a cool story. And end with that. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Well, actually, I won't end with that. I've got another one. There's another guy that, yeah, package delivery is dangerous. Not actually, but there's another guy that was on some back roads driving one of the step vans, I believe, and he was driving up a hill, and just at the crest of the hill, there was a combine, and he smashed into the combine head on, and it pinned his legs in the truck, and the console caught on fire, and he was pinned, and the guy in the combine just watched this guy actually just burn to death.
Damn.
He also died.
Damn. And this was all this is all at your station?
Yeah, that's all at this
Jesus
station.
Christ.
That's crazy.
Maybe
There's
that
some
shouldn't have.
crazy stuff happening. I had never seen that guy. So, but yeah, imagine that. Imagine, dude, what if that's a miserable way to go?
Yeah.
You're pinned, and the truck just slowly gets more and more engulfed in flames, and you can't leave. Imagine the guy in the combine just not being able to do anything about it, just watching this guy.
Yeah. He clearly had the worst day of the 2 days.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just imagine how that
You know
other
how
guy
much those
felt.
combines cost, dude? Those rich
Shit,
farmers buying these 6-figure combines. I don't actually know if they're that expensive, but
I'm
but
sure
yeah,
they
no,
are.
I'm pretty. I mean, farm equipment's like crazy expensive, ain't it?
Farm,
Like big old tractors.
bro, I fucking just general like trucks, even like not high end luxury trucks. Just anything with that much power is just automatically expensive.
Well, engines with a lot of torque and horsepower are just expensive in general.
Exactly. That's what I said, but differently.
Yeah.
Sick.
I wonder, because some of the FedEx trucks, like new, are like 50, 60 grand. And you know how opposite of luxury those things are.
Yeah, they're garbage.
They're built for the purpose of driving and like air conditioning, and that's pretty much it.
If the air conditioning works.
If the air conditioning even works, which a lot of them don't.
I don't remember which truck it was, but I was in for several days. The truck that the air conditioning works sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you and I rode together in that truck, I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah.
it's just like it just get blisteringly hot for a little bit, and you'd be like, come on, let's fucking come on.
Please come back. Yeah, you put your hand up to the vent and it's not going through. Yeah, and then it randomly just decides to start working again.
Yeah, screw that job. Fuck that job. I hate your job. I hate your job because I had it for a while.
You had it for 1 month.
I had it for a month and a half, month even, something like that.
I don't know, somewhere around there.
And all I had to show for it was a sprained ankle.
Yeah,
Sprained
How
ankle
about that?
and a lot of
Half of-
tragedy.
half of your employment at FedEx was ankleless.
Yeah, ankle-less.
Yeah, just gone, removed. You know what's funny is the freaking spot where you got out of the truck and did one on your ankle. A week after that, that same house, I got out and almost I I didn't sprain the fricker, but I certainly stretched it further than it really liked.
I told
There's
you
something about that curb. No, it wasn't even the curb. There was like sidewalk, and then the grass next to it was way taller than the sidewalk and really hard.
Yep.
So the grass was unusually firm and irregularly unlevel with the sidewalk. So it wasn't even the curb. Yeah.
Dude,
Killer.
That place is a death trap, dude.
It tried to do one on me. Yeah.
I
crazy.
swear to God, I told you. It's not just that I'm clumsy. I almost died. I could have sued, and I would have been granted that. I'd have sued the owner of the sidewalk, whoever that is.
City? I mean, would it have been there? Is sidewalk city property?
I don't. Well, no, yes, it is. I believe. But
Even if it's sidewalk leading directly into somebody's front door?
I believe so. Because you
So
can't.
you own the front yard, but
Yeah.
only the part of the yard that isn't sidewalk.
Right. I'm pretty sure. And I don't even know if you own like the little piece of grass between the road and the sidewalk. I don't even know if you own that technically. I mean, you can mow it. You were supposed to mow it, but I don't know if you technically own it.
Well, if you don't own it, then surely your responsibility to keep it mowed wouldn't be enforceable, right?
Look it up.
That's interesting.
Do you own the section?
I've never owned a house, so I don't really know.
Grass between the road and sidewalk.
All you super rich homeowners listening, drop a comment down below. Let us know what do you own. Tell us what you own. Just let us know.
Exactly.
I say super rich homeowners because if you own a home right now, you're probably rich.
Yeah, you're filthy rich. You're rolling in it if you own any property.
Yeah. If you bought like a 1 square foot area, you're probably sitting on a gold mine right now. Your profits are... How big is an acre?
Acres are pretty big. Well,
It's not like a square mile though, is it? Like
no. Yeah, I was looking up that other thing, but I'm gonna stop looking that up and look at something else now.
Inconclusive on that. We've
One
moved on.
acre is 43,560 square feet. It is. Hold on, let me.
43,000 square feet?
Yes. Yes, I believe is the number I just said.
And that's 1 acre.
An acre of land is roughly the size of a football field. Not quite, but roughly. But to answer the last question, what was the answer to that question? So I believe you do actually own it. The homeowner owns it. So the homeowner owns all of the grass on their property, and the like the quote unquote sidewalk that leads directly up to their house, like the one from the sidewalk to their front door. But they just
the
don't.
one that's like perpendicular to the door. The one that is parallel with the road.
Yeah, that one is owned by the city, because you can't just like go tear up your sidewalk and like update it or just take it out altogether. Of course not. Yeah, that would be chaos. It'd be chaos in the streets if you could do that.
Yeah. If you okay. I don't know what I was going to ask.
You were about sounding like you were about to say something profound. And then you didn't.
I don't have much profound to say. It's like 7:40 at night.
I'm tired as well, not going to lie to you. But that's just because
7:50 actually.
But that's just because I don't sleep well.
So, you know Climax Molybdenum?
I do know Climax molybdenum.
So, that place that we were delivering to and we didn't know what a molybdenum was?
Yeah, what is a molybdenum?
A molybdenum.
Molybdenum.
Now, let me think here. Jason looked it up when he was in my truck this morning, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Like steel or something? Google it.
I already did. An essential trace mineral that occurs naturally in foods and is available in supplements. Well,
It's a food mineral.
That doesn't really tell you
What?
much. I have a 3D model of it. That's helpful.
Molybdenum is... Well, it certainly can't be that. I ain't never seen a supplement bottle with ingredients of molybdenum.
Oh, maybe here's not looking hard enough.
It's a mineral.
It's a
That goes
transition metal.
So it is a metal. Okay.
Yeah.
Iron.
Oh, there's a lot of science in this Wikipedia article that I'm trying to read, and I simply can't read it.
Well, apparently a molybdenum factory is huge.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Climax molybdenum factory that I deliver to sometimes is absolutely huge.
Here, Healthline. Why molybdenum is an essential nutrient. Why? It's an essential mineral in your body, just like iron and magnesium. Ooh.
What? Why have I never known about this?
I've never heard of it other than in the capacity that you've heard of it.
The only thing I know about molybdenum is that Climax makes it.
But what does it do?
Iron and similar to iron and magnesium? We're learning about health and nutrients here now.
Exactly. Molybdenum. Molybdenum.
Molybdenum
acts as a cofactor for 4 enzymes, and these enzymes are involved in processing sulfites and breaking down waste products and toxins in the body. Fascinating. Very few people are deficient. Very few.
So it does the detoxing of your body. And if very few people are deficient, then that means the whole marketing of detoxing your body is a crock of shit.
Yeah, because the only mineral that you need to detox your entire body is molybdenum.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, too much can cause serious side effects. Oh, shit.
Can you supplement molybdenum?
I believe I read a little bit ago that you can get it in a supplement.
Can you super detox your body? Because your body's full of toxins? Whatever the fuck that means.
Ooh. Oh, shit. You can have poor bone health. It can decrease your bone growth.
I thought poor boner was about to come out of your mouth.
Damn. But I will tell you what it does do: decrease fertility.
Ah, so it's kind of true.
I'll tell you what.
Poor boner and bone health.
Exactly. But how much of it do you need? Now we're getting into the really helpful things here. In children, 1 to 3, you need 17 micrograms of molybdenum per day.
So effectively nothing.
By the time you're an adult, over 19 years old, you need an astounding 45 micrograms.
So like nothing. Okay.
Oh, this is fascinating. For pregnant or breastfeeding women, they want you to have 50 micrograms. They want you to have more, but very negligible amount of more, but they want you to have more.
Maybe extra body detox while your baby grows.
What a sentence you just said there. Extra body detox when the baby grow? Question mark. Well, that's
we need to keep like a
molybdenum.
list of. We need to keep like a list of like quotes, and like post it somewhere.
Exactly.
Extra body detox while the baby grows.
Speaking of keeping a quote, quotes of just stupidness. I don't know if I've told. I know I've mentioned him on the podcast, and I know you know much about the gentleman, but our friend Austin, the bro from Phone Store Austin.
Yeah.
We had for a long time a running list of quotes by him. And
that's got to be a good list.
I don't remember a lot of the list. I don't have access to it, unfortunately. But
Restricted access to
it's restricted access. I don't listen with what he says. The list should be restricted.
Oh my god! Not fit for human consumption.
One of the ones I remember. I remember two. I'll tell you this one. So we all worked in a phone store, and he had an African American gentleman that he was helping, and they were discussing what phone this guy was going to get. And specifically, it came down to what color of phone this guy was going to get. And Austin asked the gentleman, he says, what color phone do you want? And before the guy answers, and keep in mind, this is a black guy, Austin says to this man, you look like a black guy. What he meant to say was, you look like a guy that would like a black phone. But that is not what he said.
Yes, Austin, he does look like a black guy. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And how did he react?
I think he's just did one of those just like, oh, one of those I don't want to engage with you kind of things.
I mean, I mean, who does want to engage with a robot, really? That's what Austin is.
I think I told you this. This is maybe the most egregious one that I remember. But at this particular phone establishment, because as being a phone establishment, we also sold TV service. And we had to sell this TV service to people, and it became a little bit of a high pressure situation because nobody wanted to buy it, because who wants to watch live TV? Nobody. And he was talking to this woman who was on her own. I think her boyfriend was maybe out in the car.
Oh,
and,
I remember this.
And he's just like, hey, you want this TV service? I bet you do. And she was just like, no, I don't want that. And he goes, well, do you watch any sports? And she goes, no, my boyfriend watches sports, I guess. And he says something to the effect of like, oh, well then you should get it for your boyfriend. Yeah, he would love it. And she says, oh, no, thank you. We don't want that. And he says to this woman, to her face, in public, says, you don't want your boyfriend to leave you, do you?
Yo, this dude has got sales down to a T, bro.
Dude, if I was in that woman's position, I would buy 5 TV subscriptions.
Oh my god, yeah, he's got sales down. This sales is just like second nature to this guy. Wow, that's crazy. Our podcast that we did that was majority talking about salesmen, just it's time to remove that because everything we said is wrong.
Matter of fact, we should remove it and then in its place put up a podcast of just him talking.
Of just Austin talking, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like investor bro man dude too, ain't he?
Yeah, he's investor bro man bro too bro. He has a TikTok account. Shout out. I don't know his handle or anything, or else I'd put it in, but I don't know it. So there you go. Shout out to that guy. He said whenever we were starting this, and I mentioned to him, I was like, oh yeah, Ben and I are gonna start a podcast, we think. And he was just like, oh, I gotta be on that.
Really?
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, I want. He literally. This is how like online this person wants to be and like known by the most amount of people he can be known by. He wasn't just like, happy for us or like whatever, you're starting a podcast. He was genuinely offended that we did not approach him to be on the podcast permanently. Like he wanted that.
Okay. One, first of all, is because having two is enough logistics as is.
Yeah.
Having three is, no, I'm not trying to worry about that.
Yeah. But no, he was just like, well, I could do a podcast. I'm like, I bet you could, and go do one by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
but you know what would happen. I condone getting him on an episode. I absolutely want that to happen. But you know exactly what would happen. You and I would go at his views and just absolutely tear him to fucking pieces.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's, maybe it would be funny, but I don't know if that's worth. I don't want to bring somebody on just to tear apart their viewpoints that I know are so wrong.
Exactly. That's most of my experience with that guy. Not to shed on him too much. He's a funny guy to be around.
Oh, but he's so fun. I hung out with him like every other week and played chess and went out to dinner with him all the time.
Yeah.
We would play chess and whoever lost had to buy dinner.
But yeah, it was funny because, in life, right? Let's get philosophical for a moment. In life, you're hardly ever completely correct, right? There's always a balance,
I mean, you know the people you meet. The people that are just so certain about everything, they're not smart.
But it was where I was going with that is it's just so odd being actually objectively correct in an argument. It's an odd.
It's a weird feeling.
It's a weird because, like I said, it's very rare with people that are at least somewhat intelligent. There's going to be some give here. It's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I didn't see that correctly, or maybe I overemphasized this. Just to be literally 100% correct and be in an argument still is wild. And that was basically what talking to this gentleman was. I wish I remembered specific instances.
Yeah, and I'm one to throw around the word objectively.
You are one to do that.
But when it actually comes into like play as a not joke, as 100% like pure correctness, is in the arguments with this guy. Like the amount of objectively correct you are and objectively incorrect he is wild. With so many arguments and viewpoints.
There was a lot of arguments we had. Now I'm going to tell this, and by telling this, I'm certainly not going to tell the guy's last name because I don't want to dox him with his opinions. But he had a lot of opinions about women specifically, and very degrading opinions about women, which I don't stand for that shit. I'll make fun of women all day long, but as soon as it gets legit, I'm like, let's put it away. Like,
I'll be the first one to make fun of women, but as soon as what you said, as soon as it is real, then like fuck, nah, I'm gonna beat the shit out of someone.
Yeah, women, no. But no, he would say he would get these things and he would just be like, I don't know, say some shit like, a woman would come in and he'd just be like, oh, that woman's disgusting looking or something, and I'd be like, what, she's an attractive woman, whatever, like, and she's like, oh, she's fat. I'd be like, dude, that woman weighed maybe 120 pounds. Like, I swear to God. No, I swear to God. We had a couple people that worked at that store that were like that, who just had this, like, women talk about the unrealistic beauty standards, which is not always true. With these guys, it was absolutely true. They were literally like these stick thin women. They were just like, oh, they're fat. And I would be like, no, we're going to have a conversation about this. And about your words you just spoke there, and we would have a conversation. I'd be like, what is fat? What does that mean? What does it mean to be overweight? And they're just like, oh, it's just like thick. Like, oh, is that what that
I
means?
mean, there are actual body fat percentage medical points where you are obese and not. So
Exactly.
like that can be answered with a Google search.
Exactly. So what we needed to do in those situations was stop those women and ask them what they weigh.
Yeah,
Just to be
really,
certain.
yeah. Stop them in their tracks at the phone store and say, "Hey, how heavy are you?"
How big are you on a scale of fat to not fat?
Yeah. Because my boy Austin over here says fat. Yeah,
That guy over there, he thinks you're fat as fuck.
my home fry in the back over here.
Personally, I think you're just a little thick, but let's see how fuck.
Well, apparently, according to him, that's fat too, being thick. But then again, what begs the question: what is thick? You know.
See, I always assumed thick to be that's a good attribute to have in a woman, at least in my opinion. It's good.
I wouldn't, not in my preference, but I wouldn't call thick fat.
No, those are clearly distinct. I would say.
I think there are fat people that call themselves thick as a cope.
Cope.
I think that exists.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's a lot of different terminology, more friendly terminology, and that's a more friendly term, I would say. Thick.
It's because I think thick is generally used in a good connotation. Like it's not, like I said, it's not my preference, but I don't think it's thick is how I would define thick is not thin, but your weight has no bearing on your health. Once it does, I'd say, yeah, you're probably fat.
Here's a question. What is the difference between thick and curvy?
Well, you can be a recommended body weight and curvy, I think. Like if you lift, having like the hourglass shape, right? Like kind of a V taper back, small hips, or small waist, wide hips and fat ass. And then they taper in again, but then it tapers out with your quads. And then it tapers it. That's curves from top to bottom. But that's defining somebody that is like a lifter.
But wouldn't that just be fit?
I would say so too, yeah. So maybe I'm thinking curvy, but you know, when I hear people say curvy, it's usually with women that are more overweight than a fit woman is.
But is thick more overweight than curvy? And these are important questions, and we're qualified to answer them.
Yes. Hey, you and I cover a wide spectrum of weight between the two of us.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's in between us. So
yeah, and we're both not women.
And you think you can't call a man curvy?
I suppose you can. I suppose you probably shouldn't, but you might.
I mean,
he might not like it, or he will like it,
or he would.
I'm not one to judge.
I'm also not one to call a man curvy, but I'm just saying.
Men are usually described as I don't think there's fewer like body attribute terms for men. I feel like you're either like,
oh, of course,
you're
because
like
men's bodies are less focused on than women's bodies.
You're just like average, or you're skinny, or you're fit,
dad bod,
or you're fat. Those are what you can be.
Yeah, really. There's like buff dude, which is like jacked, huge. There's fit, which I think is the majority preference in women. There's dad bod, which I think
that's a preference shared by people.
Yeah, I don't actually know this, but I have seen some instances of where women have said they like a dad bod, and then their example of a dad bod is like a super jacked dude, but he's like really hairy.
I feel like a dad bod is like a guy that I don't know. He's not like fat. He's just kind of got a little bit of a gut on him.
Yeah,
that's how I associate.
when I think of a dad bod, I think of like just maybe a hint overweight, and most of it's in his gut.
I kind of you got to think
little
like
very little muscle.
yeah, like the
mass.
beer belly kind of guy.
Yeah, that's
Guy.
what I think of a dad bod, and I genuinely don't think that that is a preference for the majority of women. I think when they say dad bod, that's not what they're thinking of.
But is dad bod maybe more about the demeanor, the behavior?
I would say probably.
That's fair. You kind of
I would say
fit a
most of the
stereotype.
appeal of saying someone likes a dad bod is probably in the things that come with a person being okay with having a dad bod, you know, like a dad.
But we never answered the question of
Curvy and thick.
curvy and thick, and what's bigger and what's better, or are they both bigger and both better?
Let's talk about women's bodies here and which one's better and
Respectfully.
worse. Of course.
Let's talk about women's bodies respectfully.
Shoot. I think I just described to you what it just immediately picture in my head what curvy was, and it just is a fit woman. But I don't think that that's what curvy is most used for.
I think when I think of that, I think of like, the ratio. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You pick it up when I'm throwing down.
Like waist to hip dimensions.
Like, they've got some fat on them, but in the right places. You know what I'm saying? That's
So
what
curvy is in like, you got big ass, you got wide hips,
Mhm.
and your fat is mostly allocated
Yeah.
lower body.
That's how I always associated it. Not that I put much thought into this, but
Curvy. So then describe thick?
that, but a little more all around fat.
That, but more
Potentially.
evenly distributed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
I think that's right. And I am the authority on this.
Yeah, you are where this conversation starts and ends.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about or needed to think about, and probably still don't need to think about the differentiation between curvy and thick. No, it's what?
You go ahead. What I said was not important.
I mean, is anything we're saying here?
I think if we should come to a declarative statement on women's bodies and then enforce it. And then it will be important because they will be forced upon them.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, what I was gonna say was what's much more important than a way a woman looks or anybody looks is their personality, and that's generally how
That's super cliche.
But it's accurate, is it not?
I mean, yes, in the long term, yes. But in the short term, I mean, are there people... Here's the thing. I look at somebody and...
Do you know?
Not usually, actually. Especially in the gym. You better be looking up or looking down if you're in the gym.
Exactly.
If you're eyeballing around, that's bad news.
If you want to look at anything other than up or down, you better be looking at your phone or something. Because
Or
you
a-
better not be
or a
looking
man.
Oh yeah, you better look at them. They like that.
Yeah, that's okay. But regardless, I can't believe I've done this. What was I talking about?
We were talking about personalities and whether or not
Yes.
it's important.
So
Yeah.
when I look at a woman or anybody for that matter, it's not their personality that's gonna get me to be attracted to them. because
True.
I don't know what it is. Okay, looks are, when it comes to meeting somebody, looks are the most important
Mm-hmm.
because there is no personality yet.
Right.
And
It
is
doesn't
there
exist.
ever with women? I mean, come on.
Just a big empty ball and nothing.
Right. So like they are absolutely very important. But there's also women that I would probably look at and not be immediately attracted to, that I would probably eventually start to be attracted to if I was to know them.
Right.
But that might never happen in the first place because the attraction isn't there to start it in the first place. So I think looks are absolutely extremely important in the short term. But in the long term, I think no, not really.
Yes, I agree. And I think general attractiveness to your partner, even long term, is important, I would say.
I do think,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
I think it's important to stay. Like, yeah, attraction fades, of course. But I do think it's important to find a partner that you think is hot, you know? And, like, I just don't think anything good is coming from a partner that you don't find and probably never will find physically attractive.
we both know a guy like that. Same phone store guy, same phone store, but different dude. There is in a relationship like that. Is just not attracted to their partner, but just stays because they have an alright personality and he likes them for that. But it breeds so much. It breeds so
Ah!
much so much tension because it's just like I don't really want to do that other stuff with you, but like we can just hang out. But that other stuff, I don't like you like that.
I mean, is that just not the life of an asexual, though?
Dude, I don't know how to relate to somebody that's asexual. I have no idea what that's like.
Not having the ability for sexual attraction. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a tough one.
I feel for those people. I have no idea how to relate to them at all.
I don't think I'd want to be with them. You know? Like,
Oh, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. Straight up.
I don't think I could get myself to like be intimate with somebody that I know does not want to be intimate with me, even if they actually like, even if we're in a relationship or something like that. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Or the other alternative is they don't want to be intimate, so you just don't get to be intimate whatsoever.
Or that, yeah.
And that's equally as troubling.
That's, yeah, either one of those options is just not going to work. And there's certainly, I don't think, very many of people like that in the world. So like, I don't know. They probably don't have it easy in life when it comes to the dating scene.
Well, I mean, yes,
Which sucks.
sexual needs are like a basic part of human biology.
Right. Male
And to
want reproduce ooga booga. You know.
Ooga booga. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, yeah, if you take that away, it's just like, what are you doing? You're not gonna find many people that are comfortable with just like, hey, I don't like that indefinitely. Are you okay with that? I don't think you're gonna find a lot of takers.
I have heard instances of asexuals dating somebody that they allow to have sex with other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I mean,
just simply to not build up resentment against them.
I mean
Which
the
I kind
idea.
of get.
I mean, I get it. The idea of polyamory is it's fascinating to me. I would absolutely never do it. Like absolutely
Yeah, I
never.
don't think I would ever either, but I mean, shoot, sometimes it works out.
Sometimes it works out. It's one of those. This is me showing my judgment a little bit. That's one of those lifestyles that I have a knee jerk reaction to be judgmental towards, and I have to like kind of check myself a little bit. And I'm like,
I still have, so being raised as a Christian, I still have like knee-jerk reactions to that too, just because I was raised that way and I was raised stupid.
Yeah. Stupid
like,
is as stupid does.
Yeah. I just hear that and I'm like, that can't work. That's not good.
Yeah, your relationship's broken if you do that.
Yeah.
And I would know.
And after I start to actually think for more than half a second, I'm like, okay, that's just like I think that's just a me problem.
Yeah, it's just like
I just
it's not
wouldn't
for
be able to do that.
Yeah, it's not for me, but it's probably for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that before. Like men, I've heard. I mean, I just kind of see this as being able to cheat, but like I've heard of relationships where women allow their men to just like go out and have sex with whoever they want, but still come home to them.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's a much more primal ooga booga reproduced desire for men than it is for women.
Right.
I mean, like, I guess the way I see cheating is if you know your partner probably wouldn't allow it if they knew you were doing it, it's probably cheating.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're allowing it, you know, it's not cheating, but it just feels like it would be.
It's certainly not monogamous, though. It's
no, yeah, it's certain, no.
It's polyamorous, as a matter of fact.
But it's not, though. Polyamorous is multiple people in the same relationship. This would be a one-sided
I guess
open
you're right.
relationship.
I guess the idea of polyamory is like a trio or a squad.
Are we doing trios or squads? Where we drop it? Yeah, that's polyamory. This is still a monogamous relationship, but
can you call it monogamous?
I mean, okay. There's also an open relationship, which one party called. Or both parties can have sex with whoever they want, but they are dating each other.
Yeah, you're right. That's what that's called.
I think is still monogamy, but the fuck spread.
This is where Google is the authority. Is an open relationship monogamous?
Answering life's questions.
Okay. Open relationships are sometimes referred to as monogamish.
That's actually a pretty good name.
They're
monogamish. That's pretty good.
But Google AI says, which that's the authority really, says no, an open relationship is non-monogamous, or sexually non-monogamous. So I guess that's true. You could have a
specifically sexually non-monogamous, but relationally monogamous.
Interesting. All of this I would never want to do.
Yeah, I don't think so.
As a fuck.
I would get jealous.
Oh, absolutely, I would. Yeah. Oh no, no way.
Immediately.
No way. And then I would also, but at the same time, before women who obviously watch this channel and watch us would flame me in the comments and go, "You would get jealous." No, and if she got jealous of me, I would also completely understand. Like it's just
of
I
course.
couldn't. It's not a situation of like, oh, you shouldn't be jealous of me. I fucking want that. But then they go do it, and then I'm like, oh, I can't believe you done this. That's how I talk when I'm not on camera.
Yeah, that's your standard issue. Speak.
Exactly.
No, yeah, I think the vast majority of the human population is both monogamous and not open in their relationships. But I mean, in our back in the day, ancestor Ooga Boogas,
Booger.
the men did just run around and reproduce with, you know, whoever the frick.
Yeah.
Which is partly, as far as I'm aware, why we are the way we are. Because monogamy wasn't a thing back in the cave days.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
and since they ooga booga, now we got to deal with the repercussions of that.
yeah, now we got to deal with that.
You and I have had this conversation many times. How different and potentially better or potentially worse, depending on how you look at it, the world would be if just people in general, but specifically men, had much lower sex drives.
Oh my god, dude!
The world would
men
be a
had
different
no
place.
sex drive. Shoot, what would be? Dating apps would no longer work.
Just shut down.
I mean, dude, they're unbelievably male dominated as is, so they would lose the vast majority of their user base. It would only be people that are actually looking for a relationship, not the people that are just trying to get a quick one in, which is the majority of dating app users, I believe.
A quickie.
Quickie. So dating apps would crumble, which I think would be fantastic for society.
Yep, that's a net positive right there.
No more $500 a month Tinder subscription.
Crime and Christmas.
What else? Men had no sex drive. I think women. I mean, women would then become the pursuers rather than men.
Yeah. It'd have to be.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, while I would say men's biological need to reproduce urge is maybe stronger, it still exists in women. So like,
right.
You know, like baby fever. Like, that's a thing.
Right. And also women, also reproducing aside, they still get horny too sometimes.
Yeah.
Just not as much.
I've
so, like,
never seen it.
I've yet, in my stupid years, I have yet to see it.
Yeah.
Just like birds, women's horniness is a myth.
Yeah, it's not real.
Neither is New Jersey.
Why New Jersey specifically?
I don't know. I've heard that one before. Australia as well.
Oh, I get behind that. They don't real. Those motherfuckers aren't
That's
real.
a myth. Women would have to be the pursuers, and what would that cause? What kind of what in the world would that change? If men were no longer,
I think it would. There'd be I don't know, just shift in. I want to say. I keep wanting to say power, but it's not power.
there would be an enormous mindset and ideology shift. I think.
Yeah.
Hugely. Because, social media and TikTok specifically is just an outlet for women to hate men and men to hate women in a lot of cases.
Yeah, exactly. Rightfully so.
So, like, I don't think that would be happening that much anymore. Or maybe it would, but the roles would just be reversed. I'm not sure. Huh. Women would be no longer afraid to walk in a New York City type of place in the dark alone.
What you just spoke that is probably the most massive difference. You would eliminate sex predators pretty much.
Yeah.
Because if men didn't need that, and men are the vast majority of sex predators. Yeah, no, you'd eliminate that problem almost immediately. Which that'd be wild. That'd be
if there was
a huge difference.
Wow. Would this be an overall net positive on the world?
I think so.
If men had no sex drive?
But let me ask you this here. Now this. Now hear me on this one now here.
Drastically reduced.
So when it comes to innovation, Clearly, men and women can both innovate. But a lot of people say innovation, as far as the men's side goes, is driven by not sexual urges, but like testosterone and this inherent
Tension.
male tension. You're right. Would that go also, or be diminished?
Or would it be heightened?
You'd have a heightened
because the buildup of
focus.
tension comes from the desire. And if the desire is gone, there would be no tension buildup, I believe.
So what's that stance?
Well, would we no longer drive this innovation, or would, because we don't have tension built up, or would we instead use the time that we would be wasting on
women,
on dating apps and dating and shit and one night stands, and instead be using that time to be doing innovation things? I don't know. I don't think it would be bad. I think we would still continue to, speaking from my own point of view, I mean, there's dudes. Well, I don't know. I was going to say there's like, super successful guys that surely, fuck all day and night, that probably have no tension built up. But there's also super successful guys that probably have, never even touched a woman. So, like, I don't think it would make too much of a difference in terms of, like, motivation and drive and innovation in men. I don't think it would make that much of a difference.
Well, if that's the case, then I would say that would be a complete net positive. Boom. We have discovered.
Well, you heard it here first.
We've discovered the world's issues.
It's time to make a pill. Do you think you want your libido? You think you want to buy all these pills that talk about your libido and get it up? No. We're going to sell you the anti-libido pill.
Exactly.
And the world's going to be a better place because of it.
I think it would, genuinely.
If the women become the pursuers and the streets become more safe.
You heard it here first. The only way to get a woman to want you is to starve the entire world of men's affection.
To get a woman to want you, you have to starve every woman in the world of sexual satisfaction.
Exactly.
We've found it. We've gotten to it. All these dating advice videos, throw them in the garbage because we've got it. we've hit the bullseye on this one.
Exactly. And on that note, let's leave this one here. Thank you all so much for watching. Let us know, how do you attract women? Because I need help. No, I'm kidding.
How do you try? All the rich people that I told to leave a comment with a house in the comments to leave a comment, do it again with how do you attract women?
With the rich, I have their answer for you.
The rich. Okay.
They're rich.
Other than you. If you've got no money, no bitches, no life, no home, no family, tell us, how do you attract women?
Exactly.
How do you do it? We know you do it. So how do you do it?
Sick.
This was recorded way too late because it's 8:30,
Exactly.
and we never should have gone down that road.
Precisely.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Peace out.